Thank you, everybody, and thank you. And I'm just going to go straight to my paper, of which is about rebuilding African family values based on transformational leadership. So the paper, actually, as you can see from the, as it projected, is going to address or to revisit some of the traditional African family values before the colonial era and before the colonial era, the impact of colonialism and post-colonialism on African family values, and what could be done to rebuild these values among African unit. In the course of relearning what has affected our African communities, I employed transformational leadership to assist in the rebuilding of African family system by actually targeting the young generation as an ownership. So Africa is well known for its cultural richness and heritage in traditions and values, which are cherished by various communities within Africa and beyond. Quoting from Ganguly and Krishnan, they highlight that values are concepts or beliefs which act as guiding principles in life. The same way Aidan views values to be embraced by and or treasured because they permeate every aspect of our lives. So Africa, so did I go back? Yes, each person, as you are, we are seated here, we have some sense of values. And so there is no even any society that has no values. Now, within our African institutions, we have some of the values that are highly treasured. I just tried to mention or to list some of them. You can imagine whether, you can place them in any category, whether they are modern or personal values. But I listed some of them like hardworking, caring for each other, sense of sharing and respecting our elders and even our properties, having compassion for the poor and the marginalized, and the sense of unity within our African families, and of course human dignity, integrity, among others. And we know that our parents, our family, as family leaders, have always been there for us as role models to be able to transmit these values across generations. Now, when I talk about traditional African family values, I also think about the sense of understanding as a traditional value, how we listen to each other, how we show that sense of compassion and the understanding. Then there is that sense of family where we identify ourselves with the families, the sense of belonging, identity, and then having respect. I have already mentioned it. Hard work was highly treasured, and we even now, what can I say? We even think about everybody to be a hard-working person. If you are lazy in any community, that means you are going to be a thief, stealing from other people. And it used to be in the past, each family was self-sufficient in terms of food. Then there was that true brotherhood and sisterhood, to be there for each other in solidarity and mutual respect. Now, unfortunately, the colonial era, this is what happened, it distorted a number of things on African continent, including our own family value system. Colonialism imposed colonial rule that resulted into practices of individualism instead of collectivistic culture or instead of communalism. So disunity among tribes emerged, ethnic clashes because of elitism among African groups also became a problem, and also ethical powers among our chiefs was deprived from our former African leaders to colonial power. African values were eroded, which also affected our African family system and our societies at large. Then there was I gave an example of divide and rule system which was imposed by the British system. This damaged our family unit, our brotherhood, and our sense of sharing and concern, as well as respect and mutual respect. It created divisions among African extended families, among our clans, tribes, because of superiority and inferiority complex. Coming to 1960s, most of our countries gained our political independence, and we celebrated because we got our power from colonial powers. However, with that anticipation of developing our natural resources, our dreams didn't come true. Our traditionally African leaders had these high expectations of regaining or having a share in the new leadership African power system. But after gaining our political freedom in the 1960s, many African governments inherited countries that were created and influenced by colonialism practices. And this trend affected our economy, our social systems in Africa. Unfortunately, good governance and ethical power were lost, and many African governments were influenced by mentality of instant success without considering about hard work. So, post-colonial impact now on our African value system, as observed by Igbo, this has taken a lead and has crippled down into our family system, including corruption. We have now land grabbing, oppression, irresponsibility. The post-colonial practices continue to contribute to our economic decline, mismanagement of natural resources and health-related problems, and there is a loss of moral compass. Today, the clash of values and ineffective leadership are major concerns in African families. As pointed out by Kiai, currently, Africa has lost the moral compass that has a sense of humanity and consideration. As a result, millions of Africans are threatened by famine, real income continues to decline, foreign debt is increasing at an alarming rate, and it is not surprising that there are also tribal clashes, civil war among political government leaders, and power greedy. I have listed some of the countries that you are aware of, like Burundi, Zimbabwe, DRC, you name them. Then there's a frustrating situation. Africa continues to be placed on the periphery of human underdevelopment in terms of economic and social status. Despite gaining our political freedom, Africa still continues to face a number of challenges. As highlighted by Rodney, colonial practices has produced Africa's underdevelopment and continue to plague Africa today. If we look at leadership in Zululand and the Shona societies, they believed in the Ubuntu philosophy, that a person is a person on account of other people. And the same applies to our kings, that a king is a king on account of the people. The implication of African philosophy is a reminder to any leader that there is no leadership without people, and the value is on interdependence. The same is expected of African leaders today. However, this is now far from the reality of what is happening during post-colonial period in most African countries. I quote from Butera. In traditional Africa, leadership meant being a servant first before you were served. But today, leadership means to be served being powerful in terms of possession and financial gain. Consequently, there is abandonment of the people who elected our leaders or who elect us for different political positions. And this has become a every-term game. Empty promises from both civil and political leaders have damaged trust of their followers. It is not easy today in most African countries to trace selfless leaders who are also transparent and moral. Instead of moving forward in effective leadership, Africa is being brought down by constant enemies. Salau points out that Africa continent is now suffering from leadership vacuum, which is contrary from effective leadership. So in rebuilding, I call upon you that let us look at an alternative way of rebuilding the African family system by exposing our young generation to transformational leadership, because this one starts or targets the families from the cradle of shaping our leaders for tomorrow. That's why I've employed transformational leadership as the power in the society. I'm going to, because I see the timekeeper is standing next to me. So transformational leadership, in short, is about bringing social change in any institution, and vital for the young generation to be able to rebuild African value system starting from the family unity. What we are promoting here is about ownership of our family values. Bass and Barnes highlights that transformational leaders operate out of deeply held personal value, which is based on the value of integrity, of doing the right thing even no one is looking at you. Some of the values that are vital for transformational leadership include a sense of responsibility, whereby young generation demonstrates total commitment to duties entrusted to them. Important values also that have to be kept in mind. African continent right now is in dire need of visionary leaders, as highlighted by Bart and Ellis, who will build trust within themselves and mutual trust with others. It is never too late for African children to employ open communication and act on compassion and caring values. Parents too, I try to remind parents that I encourage to reinforce social skills in their children as they grow up. Social skills are vital in family interaction and among classmates in school. This is in view of creating holistic or wholesome human beings for transformational leadership. From a psychological point of view, social skills are critical to cognitive, emotional, and psychological development. What is happening in modern societies? Parents are very busy with work, campaigning for political positions, and they are busy-minded. As a result, children are pushed aside from their social space at home, and the parent-child interaction is minimal. Mbotela emphasizes. But whatever the circumstances, adults have to make deliberate and intelligent decisions to entrench the culture of inclusivity for children at home, community, and even in school. Good preparation and emphasis about the development of actual interaction, where we are, the values on good preparation for future transformational leadership for various institutions, whether in academics, in politics, government levels, or elsewhere in our society. If parents make deliberate time to instill the above-mentioned values in young generation, it is one way or another, it is one way of preparing a platform for new leadership to be able to engage, inspire, and challenge the people while embracing African values. Conclusion, I'm calling upon African countries to reclaim now or rebuild or own African family value system that can assist in bringing hope, a sense of concern for one another, respect for our elders and neighbors and property, a sense of hard work for our sustainable development, and sharing the little we have instead of being self-centered. These values and many others are essential in fighting dehumanization, social injustice, greed, conflict, corruption, and the like among African countries and beyond. Thank you for your attention and remain blessed.